I would like to introduce you to EVERWIN Pneumatics 21 gauge micropinner, the P850. Some features on this micropinner include a belt hook that's reversible and an ergonomically angled handle with a rubber overmold for the user's comfort and grip. This micropinner also utilizes a double trigger with a dry fire lockout, which you can override, and I'll show you how that's done later. The magazine on the P850 has a load capacity of up to 100 pins, and there's also a pin reload indicator window for your convenience. This micropinner can accept either microhead or headless pins in a variety of different lengths, and the onboard tools are housed on the other side of the magazine. The recommended operating pressure is between 70 and 110 psi. The air inlet NPT on this particular micropinner is 1/4 inch, but EVERWIN tells me that 3/8 is also available. To the right of that is the rear exhaust with the built-in muffler. That feature helps to silence and disperse the exhaust away from the user when the tool is being used. EVERWIN Pneumatics P850 comes in your standard run-of-the-mill plastic blow-molded case. Unless those two red latches tickle your fancy, there really isn't anything too exciting about it. But inside the case we find the micropinner, the instruction booklet, and a parts list with an exploded view of the micropinner. I was hoping that there might be a few little goodies inside, like a small bottle of oil, or even a cheap coupler so I could actually use this out of the box without having to run to a big box store to buy something I feel should come standard on a nail gun. Well, since I have it out of the case, let's go ahead and take a closer look at the P850. The first thing I noticed was how clean the tool was. There was no grease, dirt, or grime on the gun, and the parts you'd expect to be oiled did in fact have a light coat of oil. The textured rubber overmold makes this very comfortable to hold. The double trigger may take a little getting used to for some, but the learning curve is pretty quick in my opinion. And yes, I still need to go buy a coupler. As you can see, the magazine slides and locks with ease, and as I said earlier, the onboard tools are housed on the other side. The hex key is great to have on board a tool in case you need to tighten a bolt or address a jam. The spare nose protector is nice to have, but it comes off too easily, so I will not be keeping that on the tool. The P850 looks great out of the box, but let's get it ready and see how well it performs. For the demos, I'll be using my P850 with a brand spanking new male coupler. I took some scraps of 3/4 inch plywood and glued them together so I could safely shoot the 1 inch 21 gauge Grex nails I bought off Amazon. The P850 does require oil, so I'll be using some 3-in-1 pneumatic 2 oil to fill that void. For my PPE, I'll be wearing work gloves, safety glasses, and ear protection. To be honest, I probably shot over 300 pins through the P850 before I did this demo. The test you see here was done 3 different times, and not once did I have an issue with the micropinner. No jams, no misfires, and so far no issues. Normally I use a 23 gauge pinner to attach a face frame that's made out of hardwood because I don't like the larger hole an 18 gauge fastener leaves. Now, even though the P850 performed flawlessly here, and it does leave a smaller hole than my 18 gauge brad nailer, I would still reach for my 23 gauge pinner for this type of application. I personally think that the P850 is better suited for installing trim, door casings, or molding around the house, but that's just my personal opinion. Now this scene may be alarming to some, but everyone tells me that this is completely normal. As I was moving the P850 into frame to show you how the dry fire lockout would not let me fire a pin without overriding it, even though I was engaging both triggers, the P850 fired a pin without me overriding it. Now depending on the amount of glue between the pins, the dry fire lockout mechanism may be engaged on either the last 6 or last 5 pins in the magazine. When the metal plate you see here is no longer held down by any pins, the dry fire lockout mechanism will be engaged. In order to override that feature, you'll need to engage the secondary trigger, then hold down the override button, and that will allow you to pull the primary trigger to fire the remaining pins. Honestly, I do find that a little awkward, so I probably won't be using that anytime soon. Something else I need to mention from EVERWIN is that the dry fire lockout mechanism is not geared to improve safety. It is just there to make sure that the user does not fire blanks into their workpiece. All in all, I'm very pleased with the P850. I shot an upwards of 1500 pins through it, and it didn't jam on me once. As for the problem I was having with the dry fire lockout, I'll probably just buy a few different brand of pins and see if that doesn't solve the problem. The P850 is available online, and I'll put a link to it down in the description. Honestly, if you can afford it and you're looking to fill a void in your nail gun arsenal, I'd recommend looking at the P850. Well, that concludes my overview on the 21 gauge micropinner. If you haven't already, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to my channel. Also, if you have any comments or questions about this item, please leave those below and I will do my best to answer them. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care and have a good one.